I want to talk about this next. The Steelers beat the Bengals 44-38. So for years and years, I defended Russell Wilson. I think everybody liked him. Let Russ cook. And then it ended poorly. Then he went to Denver. It was a bit of a mess. He and Sean Payton, personalities clashed. He went to Pittsburgh. And my take was, I think the players are going to like Justin Fields more. Young, relatable, athletic. But the one thing the Steelers haven't been, and I mean even in the Big Ben days, Big Ben prime days, they've always been loose, a little overly dramatic, loud, and undisciplined offensively. And Mike Tomlin needed Russell Wilson. And frankly, Russell Wilson needed Mike Tomlin, a head coach that isn't looking over his shoulder in the meeting rooms. Mike lets offense do offense. And I don't know if this team, Pittsburgh, is going to beat Philly in 2 weeks or Baltimore in 3, but Tomlin and Russell Wilson are perfect. Russell is the adult in the room for an offense that's desperately needed that for years. He's focused, he's driven, he's aspirational, he's grateful, he's serious, he's disciplined, he doesn't turn the ball over, and defensive coaches like that. And here's the thing. Both Tomlin and Russell Wilson have trophies, have healthy confidence. I think they're good people. Both got humbled. Tomlin kept hearing, bro, you can't win playoff games. Brady, Manning, Mike Tomlin had to look himself in the mirror and go, you know what? I got to get a grown-up to run this offense. And Justin Fields had a winning record. He pulled him out, gave it to Russ. Tomlin got nothing but crap, and he was right. He was right. He's like, I need a senior statesman. And by the way, Russell Wilson figured out in Denver, you know what? I'm probably going to be a complimentary piece. I can't be the savior for football teams. So before Russell Wilson arrived, the last several years with Pittsburgh, there was one way to win. Create turnovers, mostly low scoring, played really well as an underdog, not necessarily as a favorite. 44-38 wins over Joe Burrow were not available to this franchise the last several years.
This was an awesome win. An awesome win for many different reasons. And it's not just Russ. Russ obviously is a huge reason for it, but it's the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise as a whole. I know people are going to say, oh, who are the Bengals? They're not that good. Their defense. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, their defense isn't that good, but what Russ and that offense and what the Steelers did was just big time. Really, really big time. And if you want proof of that, just listen how this game was called in the beginning, okay? Where they said, can the Steelers keep up? That's what the question was. They said, oh man, this is shaping up to be like a high-powered shootout. Can the Steelers keep up? I was watching this game, and I actually had it for a second, because I was watching it on my phone, actually, and I was in bed. I was, like, kind of slow to wake up after the holidays, and I had it on the side, and so that's, I heard it before. I wasn't even watching it that second. Like, I just was listening to it as I was kind of doing some other stuff, and I hear that, and I go, are you serious right now? Like, what? Can the Steelers keep up? This fantasy, this delusion that the Steelers can't score points, that they haven't been doing so with Russ. They're still using some of the games with Justin Fields. Yeah, when that offense couldn't do anything. Russ is a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay? He is the quarterback. He is a top quarterback for the Steelers. Okay? That is who he is. So stop using what happened in the first few games when they couldn't score touchdowns, they couldn't score points. That's not who the Steelers are. That's where they moved on from Justin Fields and entered Russell Wilson into the conversation. I mean, I did another clip on ESPN before. They were like, where are the points? Where are the points? I don't trust that Russ and the Steelers will be able to score points. Well, they just hung 44, okay? I mean, my goodness. Russ 29 for 38, 76% completion percentage, 414 yards, 10.1 yards per attempt, 3 touchdowns, and a 126 rating. I don't care how bad your defense is. That's beast mode. That's beast numbers. That is feasting. So can we stop with this nonsense? 520 total yards, 28 first downs, 4 for 9 on third. They only had 9 third downs and 28 first downs. That's wild. That's really wild. Only 2 of their touchdowns were in the red zones. Only 2 of their touchdowns were in the red zone. Okay, 10 different receivers they hit. Okay, this was 10 different receivers, each of their longs: 43, 36, 29, 25, 25, 23, 23, 20, 18, 10. I mean, I had to write that. I had to double check multiple times to be like, am I looking at this right? This was a big time game. Big time game. Again, I actually just made a Buffalo Bills video, and I said there's no excuse for the Buffalo Bills to, not get to the AFC Championship game at Super Bowl, whatever. And it's the same thing with the Steelers. There's no excuse for you not to get past the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Texans. Yeah, obviously the seeding is going to be interesting. Maybe you have to play the Buffalo Bills too early in the in the playoffs. But if they don't have to face the Buffalo Bills, there's zero excuse for them not to get to the AFC Championship game. Colin on his podcast yesterday, I was listening to it way late at night, and he was saying, "Oh, the Steelers look good. They look like they can win a playoff game." And it's and then as he kept talking, and then I think he said 2 playoff games. But it's say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. The Steelers are a top team in the AFC. They're not just grateful to be there. They're not one of those teams that just has a good record. We'll reverse it with the Bengals. People say, oh, the Bengals have a bad record. They can't win, but they're actually not that bad of a team. Joe Burrow is balling out. Right? They kind of explain it away, which is understandable. I'm actually one of those people to a degree. And it's almost like the Steelers have it reversed. Yeah, the Steelers are winning the division. I guarantee you, if you ask most people out there, especially before yesterday, if you ask, who do you think's the better team, the Steelers or the Ravens? I guarantee you majority of people would say the Ravens. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. They would say, yeah, the Steelers are winning the division, but the Ravens are the better. Who do you want, Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson? I guarantee it. And that's just not the reality of the situation. The Steelers are a better team. I understand Lamar's fancier, Derrick Henry's fancier, and they're a great team. They are a great team. So are the Steelers. Steelers fans should be insulted that whoever was commentating, I never remember any commentators' names, that they said, can the Steelers keep up? Yeah. As soon as Russ took over this offense, they've been hanging points left and right. So, yeah. It's one thing I could understand if this Bengals defense was top level. Then I could understand. Yeah, you could ask the question. And on one side, I also understand it's the theatrics, right? I could have if I was the commentator, I could have so much belief in the Steelers, and yet I could still make a statement like that. So I do get it, right? Can the Steelers keep up, right? That is just kind of part of the commentating experience. But I don't know. It just hit a little different for me. And maybe because I said I had my phone down for a second, so I just really heard it, and I was just it just hit me with a jolt where I was just what? What did I just hear? I actually rewound it. I rewound it for 15 seconds or whatever back, and I was I had to make sure I just heard what he said. And then I quickly got my notes out. I was I'm writing this down. Can the Steelers keep up? It's just crazy. They are just so in control. And that's what I wrote. Russell Wilson, he's playing like he's elite. I don't know if I could classify him as right now being an elite quarterback, but he is playing like he is an elite quarterback, if that makes any sense. He's just so in control. Arthur Smith called a beautiful game. Him and Wilson just work together right now. Even some of these little things, right? Closing out the first half, 2-minute drill to get the field goal. Those are all the marks of a team that is well connected. Because again, as we saw all throughout this past week or so and beyond, not all teams can do that. And not all teams can get that stuff done. And I understand the game was 44-38. It never really felt that close, honestly. And I don't think the defense needs to think too much about putting up that many points because the Bengals have been balling. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, that's a special core. The Bengals are just ruining their potential, quite frankly. But you're going to give up points, right? You're going to give up points to LeBron James and Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. It's just going to happen. So it's just, that. So the fact that the Steelers were able to hang offensively and stay in this game, like I said, man, we know what you're capable of doing offensively. We know that that's there. And again, that's what I'm trying to say. yes, that defense is not good, but that defense not being that good has nothing to do with Russell Wilson's ability to throw one of the most beautiful deep balls, to execute and run an offense at the line like flawlessly. Like that has nothing to do with just a bad defense. So that's what I'm saying. You can see what this offense is capable of. You can see what they can do. The one kryptonite they have is some maturity. Pickens, it's like grow up, and that's what Mike Tomlin is saying. Mature, grow up. I'm happy he said it because I wrote that down at the very top of my notes before I even saw what Tomlin was saying. And I was like, oh, I'm going to say this and people are going to yell at me. Well, now the head coach said it. So if you want to yell at me, then yell at the head coach, right? Yell at Mike Tomlin, okay? If you want to tell Mike Tomlin to not say it, then, best of luck to you guys. Best of luck to you. I mean, this game was like, because even that one interception was, they even said it on the broadcast. I'm pretty sure that it should have been, I think, illegal contact. That should have never happened. That should never unfolded. It was actually like a great read, great throw. But then obviously, he went down the ground and turned into a pick six. And it's just the fact that they were able to kind of like not let that type of moment get to them. Even having problems with Pickens, even having that problem, the fact that the team was still able to stay connected and ready to go. The Steelers teams of the past would have had some of those little things unravel them. And we see teams that are weaker not be able to maintain that. You see Diggs carrying on the sideline, whether it be with the Bills or the Vikings, right? You see teams where that happens. But the connected teams can handle it. Philadelphia Eagles in 22 dealing with a little bit of A.J. Brown kind of whining and complaining on the sideline. Didn't matter. Still made it to the Super Bowl, balled out. Right? Like that's what the really connected, focused, motivated teams can do. They can endure any of these other kind of like, pitfalls that they might have. A really awful missed call leading to a pick six, now being at a deficit. Having your top wide receiver having some problems emotionally at that point. Recognizing, hey, he's a 23-year-old. We got to go. We got to focus. Let's do this. Just the maturity and the culture. And that is Mike Tomlin, man. That is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has really mastered this art of being like, I am a dog. I am one of you. But I am also the leader of this team. It stops and starts with me. It stops and starts with me. And it's just really this, like, it's just, I mean, you can just even look at a mean mugging on that, at the bottom. Like, it's a great balance of what he's able to do. And obviously, just his depth of knowledge and experience. And he's obviously, at this point, just a seasoned veteran coach. So when he talks, you listen. When he says shut up, you shut up. When he says mature, grow up, you mature, you grow up. You don't question him. So it's great, man. And like I said, that's what I'm saying right now. Market 12-2-24. Zero excuse for the Steelers not to make it to the AFC Championship game unless you face the Bills before then. Then we can talk, because that is Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. But outside of that, nope. You are better than the Chiefs. You are better than the Ravens. You are better than the Texans, the Broncos, the Chargers. You may be better than the Buffalo Bills. Like, I'm not saying you're not. Just, again, if you're a Steelers fan, you got to admit, Josh Allen is that dude. I mean, if we're saying that Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen's not that good, well, then, like, I don't know what to tell you. And again, make no mistake about it. The Chiefs are still a good team. The Ravens are still a good team. Like, it's not. I'm not saying that this is a walk in the park and all those teams are trash and the Steelers are just head and shoulders better than everyone. But we see the potential as I slam my mic. We see the potential. We see what they're more than capable of doing. So it's just up to them to get the job done. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers, Russ, the team as a whole? How far do you think his resurgence will take the Steelers? As Colin put it, let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.